everyone, it's me, Kasha, in for another episode of the Budget Deck Profile series. In this series, we got actually, in this episode actually, we got one of my favorite decks to play, which is actually Speedroid. Speedroid is an amazing card. It's basically a synchro wind machine type of deck, and is so good and so like so entertaining to play. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the deck. So for the monsters, we have here three Speedroid Turtle. Turtle is an amazing card. It's basically your best starter. Starter used to be in the band list, but now it got from 1 to 3 in a matter of like 2 band lists. And basically, Turtle is such a goated card. Basically, what it does is when you don't have any monsters on the field, you can special summon this monster from your hand, and when this special summon, you can search for one Speedroid monster from your deck and then put it in your hand. And with that effect, we can actually search for Speedroid Turketonberg. You can't have 3 Turtle without having 3 Turketonbergs in your deck. What Turketonberg does is when you have a wind monster in your field, you can special summon this monster. Also, you can tribute this monster, and then you can search for one Speedroid monster from your deck. Now we have here also 3 Speedroid Horse Tilt. This is a budget deck version of Speedroid, so you're gonna bear with a lot of very. It's basically a pure Speedroid deck, so you can have a lot of the low end Speedroid monsters. So Horse Tilt, what it does is when this card is normal summon, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Speedroid monster from your deck. So sorry, from your hand. Excuse me. So you can actually go for a lot of synchro plays at the start of your game. Now we have also here Speedroid then Daikoduke. What Daikoduke does is basically when this card is in the graveyard, you can banish this monster, and then you can special summon one Speedroid tuner monster from your hand or graveyard. It's an amazing cool card. Then we have here 2 Speedroid Triad Dice. Triad Dice is basically a rudimentary tuner monster that we have in the Speedroid family, and what it does is when your opponent tries to battle, you can banish that Triad, and what it does is basically negate the attack of one monster. Now, what we have also is Speedroid Red Eye Dice. So Red Eye Dice is basically one of your best tutors that you can have in the Speedroid family. What it does is when this card is normal summon, and this is not a once per turn, so you can do as many times as you can, is target one Speedroid monster that you have in the field and change its level from 1 through 6. So you can go for level 7 synchro plays a lot quicker. Now we have here Speedroid Ultra Hound. So Ultra Hound has 2 abilities. One ability is when this card is normal summoned, you can take one Speedroid monster from your deck to the graveyard, but also you can actually ban this card and then ban this card from the graveyard and then shuffle a Speedroid monster from your graveyard to your deck, and then synchro summon, one high Speedroid monster from your extra deck that has the same level as the monster shuffled back into the deck, making this card a lot of good plays with your synchro monsters. Then we have here one Speedroid Double Yo-Yo. Is basically what it does is when it's normal summon, you can target one level 3 or lower Speedroid monster from your graveyard and then special summon it. We have also one Speedroid Gun Prize. This card can actually be a very, very good card to make an into your monsters, because when this card is used as a synchro summoning, as a synchro material, you can discard one card from the top of your deck, and if that card is a Speedroid monster, you can give to the synchro monster that was summoned with this monster 1,000 attack. Then we have also one Speedroid Car Turbo. Car Turbo is just a rudimentary tuner monster that we have here on the Speedroid family. If you have a wind monster, you can special summon that monster. Then we have here one Fuki Mudoshi Piper. Mudoshi Piper is just an amazing card. What it does is basically when this card is normal or special summon, you can excavate cards from the top of your deck as as equal as the number of the wind monsters that you have in your field, and then you can select one of those cards that you excavated, put it in your hand, then you put the rest in the bottom of your deck. And then we have here 3 wind channelers. It couldn't be a wind-based deck without 3 wind channeler. And of course we have here 3 Ghost Mortar and Mullet Shield, which is very hot right now. Well, that is for the monsters, guys, and let's get into the spells. For the spells, we have 3 speed recovery. Speed recovery is basically a monster reborns for speedruns and high spirit monsters from your graveyard. You can special summon 1 spirit monster from your graveyard, and then I think it's a once per turn. Then we have here 1 speed lift. 3 speed lift. Speed lift, basically what it does is if you have a speed returner monster and only 1 speed returner monster in the field, you can special summon 1 speed returner monster from your deck. And when that monster is special summoned, your opponent cannot activate or negate the effect of the summoning of that speed returner monster. Then we have here 3 Shock Surprise. Shock Surprise is just an amazing card. Basically what it does, remember this is a budget deck. You choose 2 Speedroid monsters from your graveyard, banish them, and then you can destroy cards on your opponent's field as equal as the cards that you banished. Then we have here 2 Cross of Designator and 1 Call by the Grave. That is for the spell cards. Now let's get into the traps. And for the traps, we have 1 dice roll battle. It is what it is with this budget. You won't have enough cool traps, but if you want, you can actually, after you build the deck and you can play with it, I'll suggest you tweak getting these 2 crossouts out, and you can switch these 3 cards for 3 imperms. That's a good idea, I guess, for this deck. But now that is for the main deck. Now let's get into the extra deck. For the extra deck, we have here 2 Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Clear Wing Synchro Dragon is one of my favorite synchro monsters. Basically what it does is when your opponent attempts to activate an effect of a monster that is level 5 or higher, you just say no and destroy that monster. Also, when your opponent activates an effect that targets a level 5 or higher monster in your field, you just say no and destroy that monster. Easy peasy, right? Stardust Dragon is just a very cool winged dragon monster. Stardust Charge Warrior, when you synchro summon, you can draw 1 card. That sounds very, very cool to me. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. We have 2 of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. It is so cheap right now, so that's why we can afford 2 in this budget. Basically what it does is when a monster attempts to activate its effect, you just say no, destroy that monster, and you get and this monster actually gets the same amount of attack added to its attack. It's just such a wacky card. And then we have of course the big boss of Crystal Clear Wing Synchro Dragon, just 1 in the build because it is still not as affordable as we want it to be for a budget deck, but still very affordable for just have 1 of it in the build. And for the Speedroid cards, we have here excuse me, 1 High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. It's an amazing extender. It just needs 2 wind monsters and then they can go for plays like hell. Then we have here 1 High Speedroid Cork Shooter. This is an amazing card. It's a level 3 Synchro Tuner monster, so you can actually play this card, and if you play it right, you can special summon this monster right here. What it does is basically adding 1 Speedroid spell trap from your deck to your hand, and or if you actually special summon this monster, synchro summon this monster with the materials being entirely Speedroids, you can actually get those Speedroids from the graveyard as long as they are in the graveyard, and then special summon them back into the field, making it a lot of playability, a lot of extendability. Then we have here 1 Speedroid High Speedroid Puzzle, and then 1 High Speedroid Kendama, which are very cool cards for Speedroid monsters for this budget build. And now we have here 2 High Speedroid Chambara. How could it be a very cool high speed deck without Chambara, which is one of the staples of Yugo. And then we have here one high speed road kite trick, and actually, believe it or not, your boss monster is high speed droid clear wing rider. So let me get this through. So what kite trick does is basically with this synchro summon, you can destroy all the other cards in the field. It's basically a better version of the Black Rose Dragon. Or the other effect is that you can actually negate the effects of all the other cards from your opponent. So basically, it can be a better version of a Black Rose Dragon, or you can choose to have a better version of Dark Ruler No More. Is your choosing. And of course, high speed road clear wing dragon, wing rider. I'm sorry. What it does is once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided die and then shuffle as many speed road monsters that you have, excuse me, in your graveyard. Shuffle them, and then you can destroy as many cards in your opponent's field as you shuffle the monsters, and also it gets 500 attack for each card shuffled from your graveyard to your deck. It's such an amazing card. It's just a wipe master. So that is for the build, guys. High Speedroid is just such a very cool build. It's one of my favorite decks to play, and pretty much out of the 4 dragons from Arc V, Speedroid is basically my favorite deck. It's by far one of my favorite decks of all time, and also my favorite deck in that series. So that is it, guys, for the build. If you want more builds, please feel free to follow. I'm gonna be making just budget-based builds, emphasis on based. So click like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.